Well, well, well. Look who it is. And yes, I know. I just stole Killdeer's little well, well, well. He's my best friend. I'm sure he wouldn't care this one time out of how many videos I've made now. But with that being said, guys, boys, girls, and gentle people, we are back with another OG style type video where I'm going to be reacting as a videographer, as a tech enthusiast, and just as a fan of Stray Kids in general. But without further ado, let's just get right into this because last week, not last week, last video we watched I did a reaction video where my impressive right down here with Stray Kids because I was very impressed with what they did. But then by the end of the video, it went all the way up. They raised the bar to that high, and so they filled that huge gap. So without further ado, let's watch this and see what they come up with next because I'm very intrigued.
사건 발생 잊지 못할 사건 치명적인 매력에 홀라 땅 빠져 자꾸 나를 자극하는 넌 출처가 없는 문제야 풀어야 할 숙제야 Can I be your boyfriend 너를 대하는 태도 거짓말 없어 no cap 너에게 하고 싶은 말로 가득 찼어 my case 완벽함만 피하던 말로도 부족해 You got me losing patience 걷잡을 수 없는 emotion 떠올린 이 모습아 Never feel alright 수많은 감정이 충돌해 waiting Rolling in the deep inside my head You got me bad 문장이지 신속하게 내게로 moving on my way Why do I keep getting attracted? 자석같이 끌려가 I cannot explain this reaction 이거밖에 1, 4, 3 Why do I keep getting attracted? 네 모습만 떠올라 I cannot explain this emotion 1, 4, 3 I love you A, B, C, D, E, F, G I wanna send my code to you 8 letters is all it takes and I'm gonna let you know Oh 너 말고 높은 산도치 break 원하는 대로 불러도 돼 코딩 욕심이라도 되고 싶어서 make 마음은 점점 더 upgrade Cause You got me losing patience 걷잡을 수 없는 emotion 떠올라 네 모습 봐 Never feel alright 수많은 감정이 충돌해 waiting Rolling in the deep inside my head You got me bad 문장의 day 신속하게 내게로 moving on my way Why do I keep getting attracted? 자석같이 끌려가 I cannot explain this reaction 이거밖에 1, 4, 3 Why do I keep getting attracted? 네 모습만 떠올라 I cannot explain this emotion 1, 4, 3 I love you
네 나의 모든 상태 지금 wiki 너의 모습 ain't no flaws 나의 속마음 다시 repeat
Walking next to you but I'm falling 깊게 빠져들어 끌리지 You're pulling me deeper and deeper I try to get out but I can't stop Can I be the one? Yeah I'll be the one 모호하게 도전해 오그라드는 표현 머릿속이 띵하고 무감정은 손절 Moving out of my way Why do I keep getting attracted? 네 모습만 떠올라 I cannot explain this emotion 1, 4, 3 I love you
What's going on here?
Why do I keep getting attracted? 자석같이 끌려가 I cannot explain this reaction 이것도
I'm gonna let you know I'm just gonna go and hold you so never letting go I'm gonna let you know and I'm just gonna go Yeah 난 너에게로 지금 출발합니다 But I'll let go Never letting go Oh I cannot explain this emotion 1, 4, 3 I love you
Okay, we got some stuff to talk about. We definitely got some stuff to talk about because these guys, they always have a very creative perspective behind all their music videos, and I get blown away every time. This one blew me away, believe it or not. I didn't know what to think about all the heart emojis and all that kind of stuff. So if you know what they mean by make sure you tell me in the comments below. Feel free to tell me in the comments below because I was a little confused by it. I know that they were talking about, you know, like being in love with someone, and I can tell you, I've had those similar kind of feelings, like when there's been like a girl I had a crush on, or if there's just been some girl that I was actively trying to pursue to date. You know, I had those kind of like in la la kind of moments where I'm just kind of thinking about the girl, like, okay, time to come back to reality. But honestly, we got to talk about this because, excuse me, there's a lot to kind of that we need to go over. I love the fact that these guys have always rung true to their name of the Transition Kings. But there's also some Easter eggs in this music video. And if you don't know what an Easter egg is, go Google it after this video, but go Google it. I'm not talking about the candy that we get around Easter time in April. I'm talking about Easter eggs that they happen in music videos, they happen in movies, TV shows, video games, so that and so much more than we can even imagine. But this is what I'm talking about. There's going to be an Easter egg. That you, as a videographer, it definitely feels like something you see in like a horror movie, you know, because the way the camera's kind of panning to straighten out, but then it even does it more so. The band members is like doing this. To me, that reminds me of The Shining, you know, with Jack Nicholson, where he's like, "Here's Johnny," and that's what that reminds me of. And honestly, it's a pretty cool Easter egg. I'm not gonna lie, like it was pretty well done and pretty well thought out. Right here, I gotta bring this up because this reminds me of a scene off of one of my favorite shows called Community. It's when Donald Glover's character walks into this. It's like he walks into an apartment where, you know, there's a fire going on, and everyone else is just kind of freaking out, and he's just like has a shocked look on his face, like what is going on? Like that's what this reminds me of. If I can find a meme to it, like I'll put it up I may put it up somewhere, and this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You can see the similarities, but that's a pretty cool Easter egg. I'm not gonna lie. Losing patience, 걷잡을 수 없는 emotion, 떠올린 이 모습아, never feel alright. 수많은 감정이 충돌해 waiting, rolling in the deep inside my head. You got me bad. 문장이 제일 신속하게 내게로 moving on. That's a really cool special effects right there, because special effects are not easy to make. You know, I'm gonna bring this. So I can talk with you guys completely. I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and special effects have come a long way since then. Like if you go back and you watch like action movies from like 1995 to 96, that's when they really started to kind of amp up their special effects. But if you do like the early 90s and like late 1980s, the special effects were there, but they just weren't on par. They weren't. I'm sorry. If any of you want to disagree with me, that's fine. But I mean, I guess they were good for their time, but this was very well done, you know, and I think it was right around when I was getting into high school when special effects really started improving a vast amount than they had been for years. But this is not an easy thing to create, you know. Having that bullet right there, that's not an easy thing to do. Creating that. But I love that. It's just random, but it's just like, ah! It reminds me of Michael Jackson.
I keep getting attracted. Just so I cannot explain this reaction.
You gotta talk about something, because when I see the clothing that they're wearing, this is stuff that really reminds me of the 90s and early 2000s. Like I didn't dress like this, but I knew people that dressed like this. And like I said, I didn't dress like this. I wore a lot of like skater clothes and things of that nature, but I knew guys that dressed like this to try to impress girls. And some of the times it worked, but a lot of the time it just made them look like they were a poser. But yeah, it's definitely something that it reminds me of something you see in like the late 90s to early 2000s, like you'd see in those kind of music videos, or that people would just be wearing. Because like I remember in junior high, which it wasn't that long ago, but I would see guys walking around the halls wearing stuff like this because they were trying to impress girls. And again, it did work somewhat for them, but a lot of time it did them no good, because the girls back then, like girls in that age range when they're in junior high, they flirt with every guy that's within a few feet of them. Whether they have a crush on or not, they'll flirt with them. But that's just my take.
Why do I keep getting attracted? 네 모습만 떠올라. I cannot explain this emotion. 1, 4, 3, I love you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I wanna send my code to you. 8 letters is all it takes, and I'm gonna let you know. Oh. 나 말고 높은 산도치 break 원하는 대로 불러도 돼 코디 욕심이 내도 되고 싶어서 make 마음은 점점 더 upgrade cause You got me losing patience 걷잡을 수 없는 emotion 떠올라는 모습 I never feel alright 수많은 감정이 충돌해
The heart emojis are really just they're probably the best part of the music video, I'm not gonna lie.
Why do I keep getting attracted?
That's a very creative way to do it. You know, you have them up top where they're walking through, and then on the bottom part of the screen, they're doing their dance and singing. I think that's very creative from a videographer's perspective. That's very, very creative.
I cannot explain this reaction. Why do I keep getting attracted?
That was creative right there, where you see him jump down. That's not an easy shot to take, because they probably have to do that multiple times, to be quite honest with you.
I cannot explain this emotion.
I love how the police are studying the hearts, like, let's try to figure this case out.
1, 4, 3, I love you. 나의 모든 상태 지금 wiki. 너의 모습 ain't no false. 나의 속마음 다시 repeat. Walking next to you, but I'm falling.
See, so I have to, and this is going to carbon date me. And you know what? I carbon date myself a lot so much anyway. I just don't care now. But seeing the animations around their heads, like when, you know, they're in that daze where they're just thinking about the girl they have a crush on. When I see that, it reminds me of Looney Tunes and Tiny Toons. You know, that's the kind of things that you would see in that. If you don't believe me, go look up some clips from Tiny Toons and Looney Tunes, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
You're pulling me deeper and deeper. I try to get out, but I can't stop.
And I can tell you right now, as I've said in previous music videos, this took a lot of planning. You know, from the costumes to the dancing to the music to the post-production edits on with like the, you know, special effects and the animations. This took weeks of work and production for these. And as I've said in the past, you know, I said it, I think, in the last video, this is something that this is like a dream kind of gig for me, to be like the creative director and be the main person in charge to call the shots, but not just call the shots, but get right down there in the trenches and really just kind of move the camera around and get these great angles. Because I can tell you right now, they didn't just use one camera. They had to use multiple cameras for this. And that's not a very easy thing to do, but it's very much possible, as we've seen from other music videos.
Can I be the one? Yeah, I'll be the one. 모호하게 도전해 오그라드는 표현 머릿속에 띵하고 무감정한 손절 Moving I'm away Why do I keep getting attracted? 네 모습만 떠올라 I cannot explain this emotion 1, 4, 3, I love you.
This was very creative.
Why do I keep getting attracted?
Know that this was not a cheap music video to make. You know, I'm going to be quite honest with you. This probably was like hundreds of thousands of dollars to make, because not only do you have, like I said, the costumes, the special effects, but renting the place out if it was, because it looks like it was a well-known building, and just getting all the permits, all the permissions, and just the gear that they had to use, coming from a tech enthusiast point of view right now, that kind of equipment is not cheap. My lavalier mics, these guys, these cost for a 2-pack, for a 2 or 3-pack, these cost about $500. And that comes with and that just comes with the receiver, the dead cats that you put on the top, and it comes with like maybe 2 or 3 mics. And the amount of tech that they use in this music video, they were spending quite a bit of money on this production. But again, it's Stray Kids. And we all know that Stray Kids likes to go all out with their productions because they want people to be involved. They want people to feel good about themselves when they do this. But going back to it,
I cannot explain this reaction. I'm gonna let you know, I'm just gonna go and hold you so never letting go. I'm gonna let you know, and I'm just gonna go. Yeah, 난 너에게로 지금 출발합니다. 바로 let go. Never letting go. Oh, I cannot explain this emotion. 1, 4, 3, I love
right here where he runs through the screen,
출발합니다. 바로 let go.
know that when he did this, he probably had to jump through it. They had to probably get that in a few. It probably took several takes, is what I'm trying to say.
Never letting go. Oh, I cannot explain this emotion. 1, 4, 3, I love you.
Man, I mean, these guys, they're very talented. Not only are they talented when it comes to their music and their lyrics and their dances, but they make their music videos and their music productions very like I don't want to say mesmerizing, but very entertaining. Very entertaining. They keep you wondering what's going to happen next. And as a videographer, as a content creator, and just as someone who likes to be entertained, you have to do that kind of thing just to make sure that you know what to expect and what to, keep your audience hooked. Because I don't know about you guys, but have you ever watched like a movie or something and either the editing was bad, or maybe the acting was bad, or maybe the special effects were bad? It kind of made you want to click off of the movie, right? Or like walk out of the movie theater. I mean, I've walked out of movie theaters, and I can actually think about a few months ago, I was watching a video online. I was watching a movie online, and I wasn't impressed with it, and I got out of it because I just felt like it wasn't worth my time. And so when production companies work with music artists like Stray Kids or, BTS, or if you want to think Americanized bands, All American Rejects, Lindsey Sterling, let's see here, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blink-182, the list can go on. I could be here for hours listening off different bands. When their production companies say like, hey, we got to make sure you guys are, not only in this to win it, but we got to make sure that we keep the audience's attention, because there's nothing worse than when you spend a lot of time and money on a production and it flops. We've seen that lately in box offices where, Marvel, great example, Marvel, when they came out with the third Ant-Man movie, they spent a ton of money on the special effects, but the storyline was not the greatest. It got a really poor score when it came to Rotten Tomatoes. And because of that, they canceled any more Ant-Man movies because Disney and Marvel are like, well, it didn't really do too well. But there's something about, I have this quote, I have this attitude that, you get what you put into it. If you put your heart and soul into it, great example, in Marvel's Endgame, the Russo brothers put their heart and soul into it, and so did all the actors. And so the movie excelled. It was amazing. And, even that last music video that I reacted to, not only did the singers and the performers put their heart and soul into it, but the videographers, the production company, the editors, the post-editing, everyone on the team put their heart and soul into it. And as a creator, that's what you have to do. Because if you just do something as a half-a job, I'm not going to swear, you're not going to have much success. You know, the video is not going to be, the video or whatever it is that you're showing off to people is not going to do well. Like I said, I've walked out of I've walked out of movie theaters because I was either disappointed in the type of content that was in the movie, or I just was bored with the video in general. And to be honest with you, let's continue this discussion down in the comments below, because there's a question I want to ask you, and make sure you comment and tell me what keeps you involved with, whether it be a music video, big Hollywood production, or an independent video production, or just a YouTube video. Like, make sure let's discuss this in the comments below. But on that note, as you guys know, I will see you in the next video.